If you want a real glimpse into how well your body will age over the next 2 decades, you can forget about stepping on the scale every morning, and you can stop fixating on a single cholesterol reading. There is a biological indicator that researchers have linked to how quickly your body declines, how resistant your midsection fat becomes, and how effectively your tissues recover from daily wear and tear. And the surprising thing is, most routine checkups completely overlook it. That indicator is the activity of your circulating progenitor cells, the repair cells your body deploys from your bone marrow. And here is where it gets really interesting. There is a specific warm beverage, supported by published clinical research in humans, that was shown to more than double these repair cells in the bloodstream and may also support the metabolic processes that help your body manage stubborn fat stores. No injections, no expensive clinics. Just a cup you can prepare in your own kitchen. Now, when most people hear the words stem cells, their minds immediately go to some luxury regenerative medicine clinic overseas, the kind that charges tens of thousands of dollars per session. That is the marketing image. But the actual science tells a much more accessible story. Your bone marrow is already home to a vast reservoir of progenitor cells right now. The reason they may not be working as hard as they could comes down to the signals your body is or is not sending them. I have spent a long time going through the published literature on regenerative biology and metabolism. Not supplement ads, not influencer claims, but actual peer-reviewed studies. And the more I read, the harder it became to ignore something that kept showing up. Certain foods and beverages that are widely available on ordinary grocery store shelves have demonstrated remarkable effects in controlled human trials, effects that the supplement industry tries to replicate and often charges a premium for. Today, I am going to walk you through what I believe is the most compelling one. Here is what you will learn. The exact warm drink shown in a controlled human trial to significantly increase circulating repair cells. How researchers believe the same compounds may support your body's ability to burn stored fat more efficiently. The 3 biological mechanisms behind these effects explained in straightforward terms. A practical daily protocol, including the amounts and timing used in the research, and 3 common mistakes that can completely undermine the benefits. Stay through to the end, because the final section covers the single most important factor that determines whether any of this actually works for you. Before we get started, if you have been watching videos like this and finding them helpful but have not yet subscribed, take a moment to do that now. It is completely free, and it helps more people discover content grounded in published research rather than internet hype. All right, let's dive in. The drink is hot cacao. But I need to be very specific here, because I am not talking about those instant hot chocolate packets from the supermarket shelf, the ones loaded with sugar and processed dairy powders. What I am talking about is a cup made from unsweetened cacao powder or high-flavanol dark chocolate with at least 80% cacao content. That distinction matters far more than most people realize. Here is why this is significant. In a randomized, controlled, double-blinded crossover study conducted at the University of California, San Francisco, researchers gave a high-flavanol cacao preparation to patients in their 60s who already had documented coronary artery disease. These were people whose cardiovascular systems were already compromised. After 30 days of drinking this preparation twice daily, their circulating angiogenic cells, a specific type of progenitor cell critical for blood vessel repair, had increased by approximately 2-fold. Their vascular function, measured using a technique called flow-mediated dilation, improved by 47%. That level of improvement was comparable to what is typically achieved with statin therapy or lifestyle changes like exercise and smoking cessation. And here is the exciting part. Subsequent research suggests that the very same flavanol compounds that mobilize these repair cells may also influence how your body handles stored energy. Disclaimer: the information in this video is for educational purposes only and is not medical advice. Always consult your healthcare provider before making changes to your diet or health regimen. Now, to understand why this works, think of your bone marrow like a hangar full of aircraft that are fueled, maintained, and ready to go. When you were younger, those aircraft were constantly launching, flying out to repair damaged blood vessels, replace worn-out cells, and patch up tissues. As you have gotten older, fewer and fewer of them receive the signal to take off. They are still there. They are still capable, but the chemical signals that tell them to deploy have gradually weakened. Factors like excessive sugar intake, heavy alcohol consumption, chronic stress, poor sleep, and a diet high in processed foods all contribute to quieting those deployment signals. What high-flavanol cacao appears to do is send a strong chemical signal that helps mobilize those grounded repair cells back into your circulation. They enter the bloodstream and begin patrolling for damage, particularly in your blood vessels and vascular lining, where they support the repair and maintenance processes your body needs. And there is another layer to this that many people are unaware of. The same category of compounds may interact with a type of tissue that most people do not even know they have: brown adipose tissue or brown fat. You actually have two types of fat in your body: white fat, which is the kind that stores energy, and brown fat, which actively burns energy by converting calories into heat. Research in animal models has shown that cacao flavanols can upregulate a protein called UCP1, which is essentially the master switch for thermogenesis, the heat-generating process in brown fat. Now, I want to be transparent here. Most of the direct evidence for cacao flavanols activating brown fat comes from rodent studies. Human research on this specific pathway is still emerging, but the mechanism is biologically plausible and aligns with what we know about how flavanols interact with metabolic pathways. Let me walk you through the three key pathways. Pathway number 1, progenitor cell mobilization. The active compounds in high cacao chocolate belong to a family of polyphenols called procyanidins. When you consume them, your gut breaks them down and your bloodstream carries the metabolites to your bone marrow. Once there, they interact with signaling pathways that encourage progenitor cells, specifically endothelial progenitor cells, to enter circulation. In the UCSF study, measurable changes appeared within the 30-day study period, detected using a laboratory method called flow cytometry, which physically counts individual cells as they pass through a laser beam one by one. Pathway number 2, brown fat activation. This is the pathway that is most exciting for anyone dealing with stubborn body fat, though I want to reiterate that the strongest evidence here comes from animal research. Around your collarbone, along your upper back, and near your major organs, you have small deposits of brown adipose tissue. Unlike white fat, brown fat's primary function is to burn calories and generate heat. In many modern adults, however, this system is underactive. We live in climate-controlled environments, we move less than our ancestors did, and our diets often lack the compounds that stimulate brown fat activity. Research in rodent models has shown that cacao flavanols can increase the expression of UCP1, the protein responsible for thermogenesis. When UCP1 is more active, the body burns more calories at rest. If this translates to humans, and early signs are encouraging, it represents a genuine shift in how the body manages its energy balance. Not a temporary trick, but a real metabolic change. Pathway number 3. The gut inflammation metabolism connection. This is the piece that ties everything together. The same polyphenols that mobilize repair cells and may activate brown fat also serve as fuel for beneficial bacteria in your gut. When those bacteria are well fed, they produce molecules called short-chain fatty acids, which have been shown to help reduce chronic low-grade inflammation throughout the body. Why does this matter for body composition? Because chronic inflammation is one of the key reasons stubborn fat becomes resistant to your body's normal fat-burning signals. Inflamed fat cells can become insulin-resistant, essentially locking the door against the hormones that would normally tell them to release stored energy. Reduce that inflammation, and the door can begin to open again. Now let me give you the specific research, not vague claims. Study 1. At the University of California, San Francisco, researchers conducted a randomized, double-blinded, crossover trial with 16 coronary artery disease patients averaging 64 years old. After 30 days of consuming a high-flavanol cacao drink twice daily, containing 375 milligrams of flavanols per serving, their circulating angiogenic cells had increased approximately 2.2-fold. Vascular function improved by 47%. The results were published in the Journal of the American College of Cardiology in 2010. Study 2. A research team studying older adults following a traditional Mediterranean dietary pattern, one rich in olive oil, polyphenol-dense vegetables, tea and dark chocolate, found that participants on this diet had significantly more circulating progenitor cells compared to those eating a standard Western diet. Some reports have cited up to a 5-fold difference, though the magnitude varied across individual studies. Study 3. Multiple investigations conducted across different countries have shown that both green and black tea can support circulating progenitor cell counts. Interestingly, the fermentation process that creates black tea does not destroy the beneficial compounds as scientists once assumed. The polyphenols simply transform into different but still bioactive forms. Study 4. A systematic review published in the journal Advances in Nutrition examined the evidence for plant-based dietary components and brown fat activation. Cacao extract flavanols were among the most studied compounds, with consistent evidence showing increased UCP1 expression and thermogenic activity in rodent models. This is not speculation. These are published peer-reviewed findings. But I also want to be honest with you. More long-term human trials are needed, especially for the brown fat pathway, before we can make definitive claims. Here is the practical protocol. Save this section or come back to it. The core drink is hot cacao. Use 2 to 3 tablespoons of unsweetened cacao powder, or melt about 30 grams of dark chocolate that is at least 80% cacao. Mix it into hot water or an unsweetened plant-based milk. I will explain why dairy is a concern in just a moment. If you need a touch of flavor, a small amount of raw honey or a sprinkle of cinnamon works well. Aim for 1 cup in the morning and 1 in the early afternoon. 2 cups daily is consistent with the dosing used in the human research. The supporting addition is tea. Brew 2 cups of green or black tea per day without dairy. Steep for at least 3 minutes to extract the polyphenols effectively. This complements the cacao and adds to the overall polyphenol intake. The amplifier is pomegranate. Add roughly half a cup of pomegranate seeds, or about 4 ounces, of pure, unsweetened pomegranate juice 3 to 4 times per week. Pomegranate supports the specific gut bacteria that help connect the whole system together. Now, the critical rule about dairy. There is research suggesting that the proteins and fats in cow's milk can bind to polyphenol molecules and significantly reduce your body's ability to absorb them. While the science on this is somewhat debated and the degree of reduction varies across studies, the safest approach is to use plant-based milks like almond, oat, or soy if you want creaminess. The plant-based fats do not appear to cause the same binding issue. After spending a lot of time with this research, here are the practical tips that I think most people overlook. Tip 1. Timing. Your body performs significant cellular repair work during sleep. By having your cacao in the morning and early afternoon, the polyphenols are circulating in your system during that crucial overnight repair window. Tip 2. Absorption on an empty stomach. Drinking your morning cacao before breakfast may maximize how much your body absorbs. If you can, wait 20 to 30 minutes before eating. Tip 3. Pair it with movement. Even a 10-minute walk after your cacao may amplify the metabolic effects. Physical activity and polyphenol intake appear to work synergistically, producing results that neither one achieves alone. Tip 4. Read the label carefully. On the chocolate or cacao powder packaging, the first ingredient should be cacao, cocoa mass, or cocoa. If sugar is the first ingredient listed, you are essentially drinking a dessert, not a health-supporting beverage. Now, let me cover the 3 mistakes that can completely undermine these benefits. Nearly everyone makes at least one of them. Mistake number 1. Inconsistency. Having cacao for a few days, skipping it for 2 weeks, then picking it up again does very little. The mobilization of repair cells is a cumulative process. The research that showed significant results used a consistent daily protocol over at least 30 days. Daily consistency is the foundation. Mistake number 2, choosing sweetened hot chocolate mixes. Those instant packets at the store contain a small amount of cocoa and a large amount of sugar. The sugar can actively counteract the benefits of the flavanols. You could literally be undoing the positive effects while believing you are doing something healthy. Mistake number 3, expecting immediate visible results. You are not going to look in the mirror tomorrow and see a transformation. What most people notice first, typically within 2 to 3 weeks of consistent use, is improved energy levels, deeper sleep, faster recovery after physical activity, and clearer mental focus. The visible changes in body composition follow the internal biological changes. Patience and consistency are everything. Here is the bigger picture. Aging is not a one-directional process with no ability to intervene. The people who remain sharp, strong, and metabolically healthy into their 70s and 80s are not simply genetic lottery winners. They are not doing anything that is beyond your reach. What they are doing, often without even realizing it, is consistently providing their bodies with the signals that their cells are designed to respond to. The repair system is already inside you. The metabolic machinery is already inside you. The capacity for regeneration is already inside you. Nothing new needs to be installed. It may just need to be reactivated. Let me summarize everything in one place. Circulating progenitor cell activity is increasingly recognized as a meaningful marker of long-term vascular and metabolic health. High-flavanol cacao at 80% or higher is among the most studied food-derived compounds for supporting these cells in humans. It appears to work through 3 interconnected pathways: repair cell mobilization, potential brown fat activation, and gut-driven inflammation management. 2 cups daily, supported by green or black tea and periodic pomegranate, is the protocol reflected in the published research. Skip the dairy in your cacao and tea. Avoid the sugar-laden packets, and commit to at least 30 days of consistent daily use. Your body's repair and metabolic systems are not broken. They may simply be waiting for the right signal. If this gave you something genuinely useful, I have one request. Share it with someone in your life who keeps saying their metabolism is finished or that they have tried everything. This kind of research-based information deserves to reach more people. And if you want to go deeper, my next video covers a surprising drink that research suggests can reshape your gut bacteria in a remarkably short time. Make sure you are subscribed so you do not miss it. I will see you in the next one.